It's a very warm welcome back to On Cue Billiards in La Mesa for the ongoing Lucasi West Coast Tour. This is the San Diego stop, and we can see here that it's a handicapped contest, and the pros, that's those with 720 or above Fargo rates, they have to race to 9, and people between 551 and 650 there classified as veterans, and they have to race to 7. From 650 to 720, that's the semi-pros, they race to 8, and anyone below 550s racing to 6. And Oscar, you can see he's trailing 4-0 as we join this match. James in a commanding lead, so he only needs 7 racks, but Oscar's in a pretty good position here. The 6 passes the 9. And he seems to have played for the 7 in the side. They can just drop that in and have the 8 in the top right. Well, this tables are somewhat tighter than the others. 1, 2, and this is table 2. Tables 1, 2, and 3 are all fairly tight compared to the standard table, so you do have to be accurate. So these two to get himself on the scoreboard. And that beautiful shot, nice shape on the 9, and James in fact says that's okay. It doesn't require Oscar to pot that, so Oscar is breaking. It's an alternate break format here, rather like the World Nineball Tour rules. The 9 is racked on the spot. You break from the break box. Oscar trying to get the cut break going where you get the 1 ball in the side, but he still made a ball. I think it was the 4, rolled all the way around about into that top right. Apologies for the jerky camera, we're just trying to get that set up here. Once we get it in a good position, it'll be locked off, and you won't have to put up with any jiggling around. So just played a safety. I don't know if he's got James in a hook here. He's having a look, may just have a thin edge on it. Or maybe you can get past enough to hit enough to try something attacking. Start to tell from this angle. He's tried the corner pocket bank. Wasn't far off. May have left Oscar with a chance to cut this in. Ball's going to be rolling away though. He wants to try and stop short of the 6-9. Or he's actually gone into them. And I think he's hooked here on the 2 as a consequence. And kicking. And that's a pretty good strike, isn't it? Full in the face, got some separation, and it's not available into either of those 2 bottom corner pockets. So it'll be some type of safety, I think, from James. There's a few options. You could just play the blue 2, bank it down, and then up the table, get it past the side pocket on the right-hand side, and cue ball down behind the 8. You've also got the 6 there as a potential blocker. I think he may have gone for the 2-9 combination. That was the ultimate attacking shot there. But what sort of damage has he done? I mean, it's cuttable for sure. Oscar's got it too thin. And he maybe would have had a chance at the 3 up into the same pocket. So it's a thin edge, I think, for James here on the right. And get the cue ball coming around off 2 rails down towards this corner. If he could get below the 6, you could have Oscar in a spot of bother. I think he's going to collide with the 6 instead. Yeah. I think he's still got him behind the 7. So not a bad shot. I think he may have a... Well, is he kicking at this? Looks like he's kicking. Gave it some welly, as we say, but scratched, and so a wonderful opportunity for James. The question is, how does he get on the 3 from here? It won't pass the 8. So he'd have to maybe follow forward and get below the 3 to play it in the top left. And he has to get the 5 after this, so it's a draw shot. Doesn't have to come all the way down. Just leave himself, I mean, somewhere where he is now would be good if he could get the cue ball just back a foot or so. Yep, that looks nice. And then just don't leave yourself straight on the 6 ball. You should be playing a little bit of top and left-hand side, and he's got a nice angle here on the 6. He's gone past the 9. So no problems queuing at the cue ball. Nice shot there with bottom left, perfectly shaped for the 7. And looking good to get out here. Once again, you don't really want to leave yourself straight on the 8. You could just roll forward and get to the long rail, and then you'd have a little angle, which is exactly what he's done. Now you can play using the short rail. And you want to try and get as straight as possible on that 9-ball. This is looking good. This will be a 5-1 lead. He'll need 2 more racks to get a memorable victory over Oscar. And here in this tournament, it's we're using World 9-Ball Tour rules. So you break in from the break box. The 9 is racked on the spot using a template. Golden breaks count in any pocket, and it's an alternating break. So James just trying to smash the balls well and try and get one in that way. A lot of players do play the cut break, where they rack the cue ball on the far extreme edge of the box on one side or the other and try and hit the 1 ball like 3/4 full with draw and squeeze it into one of the side pockets, but James didn't attempt that. Unexpected miss there from Moscow. Fancied him to get that. But not left anything particularly easy. Difficult striking here. You've got to jack the cue up a little bit to get below centre, striking to pull the cue ball back for the 2. I mean, he got good movement on the cue ball. And he's got quite fortunate, I suppose, to have hidden the 1 so comprehensively there. So he's hoping to do a combo on the 9 here. Wow, that was not far off at all. And looks like there's a pot available here for James. Let's say already can get a good strike on it. Cue will come off the short rail and towards the 3-5 on that long round on the right. So any contact on those 2 would leave him on the 2 in the left-hand side pocket. Well, he struck that quite firmly. The shot I had in mind would have been a bit softer there, so that the cue would have stayed on the 2 had he made the pot, but he hit it too thick, and he's left quite a makeable shot here. Oscar just playing that with left, and he seems to be eyeing the 2-9 combination here. He could have tried to play below the 2 for a shot in the side and try to run out, but I think he sees this as an opportunity to win the game without running out. Oh, and that's a great combo. So, well deserved. Oscar's now 2 to James's 5, and Oscar with the break. Let's see if he gets closer to the cut break this time. Oh, so quite a lot closer than previous, but this time I think he's going to come up dry. The one actually went just past the pocket and hit the long rail. So it seems to have got some type of cover here. I think he can hit the one, but whether he can actually make the potting angle on it. I think he's going for the short stick, so he could jump over the side of the 9 and still go for the pot. Yeah, that seems to be what he's doing. It didn't need to get an awful lot of elevation, so it was quite a viable option, but got it too thick. And not left anything frightfully easy. And there is a cut into the bottom left. Cue ball will be going over towards the right long rail. If he plays a little bit of below centre striking and a tracer right, you could then check the cue ball back towards the centre of the table and possibly get on that 2 into all of the side pockets. That's what he played, but caught it too thin, and he's got quite fortunate there. I think he's covered the shot into the bottom left, but I think it does cut into the bottom right. But that's quite a thin shot, and this is obviously tight. He seems to be looking as though he can get it. Actually, no, he was just playing safe there. Got a good cue ball, and one kissing the 2s. Left sight of it for Oscar. Whether he'll attempt the pot is another matter, though. I think it could be banking the 1 ball past the 3, get it to come up on the right-hand side of the table a little, and get cover with the cue ball behind the 9 or the 3. But hesitating and thinking twice. And if you could avoid the cannon on the 3, the pot might be worth taking on, but what sort of pace you play it at, you might want to play it quite a steady pace so you'd have the 2 in one of the side pockets. Now he's tried the safety, but he's actually played the perfect scratch line there with the cue ball. So great opportunity once again for James. Ball's all open here now, so you have to say if you can get good shape on the 2, he'd be in a strong position. But he's not got quite the right line there. You want to be far more central in the table with a straight 2 into the top right. You could have just done a stop shot for the 3. But now, this is a tricky cut indeed. And this is quite a tight table. You do have to be accurate. I think he's gotten away with that. I don't think this is potable. So it's probably an attempted snooker coming up. You can play a thin edge off the bottom of that 2 with right hand side. Get the cue ball to take a line below the 9-8. Go down towards the 5, and the 2 would end up coming towards the kitchen line. So you need to get the cue ball up halfway up that long rail on the left hand side, upper part of it, so you get cover behind the 8. Having a good look at this, in case there's something better than that. Okay, so he's going to send the 2 away and leave the cue ball there. Well, he didn't get much separation there. But the 2 could be blocked by the 4 into the bottom right-hand side, right-hand corner. So, for safety, let's see, maybe you catch a very thin edge. The right-hand side of that 2 ball. Just cutting it onto the rail and off again, so it stays fairly close to where it is now. And get the cue ball all the way down to the short rail, up behind the 8s. The danger there is catching the 2 too thick and bringing it into the middle of the table. So, alternately, you could just. Well, it looks to be going for it. If it passes the 2, there's an option there. Get the cue ball over behind the 3. That looks good. Oh yeah, perfect pace. Any harder it would have stayed out, but very nicely played. Used all of the pocket. He seems to have a bit of top and right on this. Oh, he's run into the 7. And that's left him in a very awkward spot. Nailed to that bottom rail, or the top rail, the way I'm looking at the table. Options here, well, to attack you could try and roll it in, but the cue ball's going to roll forward at least a foot or 2, so you're probably not going to be able to cut the 5 in. Try a thin edge on it, and you could try and bank it cross corner, which is what he's done, and he's got it. It went in off the 5, so that was a great shot. How's his luck? Looks like he may be a bit unfortunate if he's not got a straight shot at the 5. And the way that 9's positioned, yeah, he's kicking at this. So, not hitting it, that's the problem. It's getting it safe. And I think that's going to come round and dress up nicely for Oscar. And I don't see him making an error here. They're just sitting pretty. Just checking the line he wants for the 7. I think you'd probably just play it so you could get slightly below the potting line, roll forward and get the 8 in the bottom left. And he's going to have a nice angle to just control the cue ball nicely back out for the 9 in the opposite side pocket. Preferring to use the short rail. He's lost the cue ball here. I think he definitely wanted it in that bottom left, but he may still try and cut it back in there. Well, you could try it in that bottom right. Play the cue ball around off 3 rails. Well, that's what he was lining up. He doesn't like it. And he's waiting to have a little look down the potting line. So he's obviously choosing the cut back into the bottom left. Be running the cue ball around the 3 cushions for the 9 in the pocket where his cue ball is right now. And got it too thick. Great shape, and the 9 is actually, the 8, sorry, is pulled up slightly. So I don't think James can get it in there. He can't cut it in that side pocket it's close to. He could try and cut bank into this right-hand side pocket, but that's not easy. It is an attacking option, or you would get the cue ball round off 3 rails for the 9. Alternately, the cut into the bottom left looks ridiculous. You could maybe just try and bank it into the middle of the short rail, the bottom short rail, get safe. And looks like he went for the cut after all. And I think he may have sold out there. Yeah, no problem here. He's got this. Delicately played off 2 rails. This time James letting him pot the 9. Which he does to make it 3-5. So closing the gap. James with a break here in rack 9. And coming up dry again. And this time he's sold out of 1 ball for Oscar. Now getting on the 2 is tricky. 3 blocks it in the bottom right. I think the 8 blocks it in the bottom left. It is available in that left-hand side pocket. Quite how you get there is not easy. He's got a slight angle. He could just try drawing power draw shot to get all the way up the table. He was able to just use the long rail to help him with that, but didn't get the kiss on the 3, which would have, I think, given him shape in the corner. So it could well be a safety here, but his cue ball's quite tight to that rail, so he's going to have a difficulty stunning it. And maybe just cut that 2 between the 3-5, get it going towards the top right corner. All the way, beautiful stroke. And nice cut here. He's just looking at catching the edge of the 5. Don't think he's able to really easily avoid it unless he puts a lot of bottom on the cue ball, which might take him towards that side pocket. You never really want to play a cannon if you can help it though. Seems to be addressing it bottom right hand side. So now missed the 5 for the right hand side to check the cue ball along the path he just indicated, so he'd squeeze past the 7 and get the 4 in the top right. That's a delightful stroke. Slightly overhit. So you can cut this 4 in, but the cue ball's running loose. He's just looking now if he plays it off the right hand long rail, left hand long rail, and then takes that line he just indicated to go between the 9, hit the short rail and get past the 6 for the 5 in the same pocket. He's just taking this 4 in. 1, 2, 3. That looks pretty good to me. Perfect. Just a ball away from the 5. Where does he want on the 6? He's indicating for us. So a little delicate draw shot. It's nicely in the pocket, but he didn't really want to leave himself under the rail. I think he's got enough angle here though to just play a natural stroke. The cue ball will roll forward, come at the centre of the table for that 7 in that top right. And if he's gotten past the pocket line, which he has, that makes this next shot a lot easier. So you can just stun draw and just get the cue ball to come directly to the desired position for the 8 without using any rails. You could, of course, play closer to the centre of the cue ball with a bit of right and just use that long rail, but I think I prefer to just draw directly. Now, he did use the rail. Very nicely done too. Yeah, we've got to learn from that, folks. That was the easiest way to play the shot, and also better margin of error because he was coming off that rail on the pocket line. And James indicates that's enough, so concedes. It's now 4-5. Oscar with a break in rack 10, just to level up the match. He's not had a lot of luck so far with getting the one ball in. So the break box, for those who don't know, if you were to put your cue on that first diamond on the long rail and point it at the one ball, that's the extreme edge of the break box on the one side. Oh, he got closer that time. And then there's a similar point on the opposite side as well. So gotten away with that. Could have been anywhere, and it's gone pretty safe. It's also not that easy for James to get Oscar in trouble. You'd have to really try and hit as thin as humanly possible and see if you can get the cue ball out between the 5-3 and away up the table. But you catch that one too thick, you're going to clatter into balls. And I think it looks to be almost frozen to the rail, so there is the danger of a double kiss as well. But you get him to try and catch it too thick. He's going for the thin edge. Yeah, not ideal. Could find himself in a spot of bother. Let's see if Oscar doesn't want to take on the thin cut. He's gone for the hook. And that may have just peeked out to offer James a thin edge. And if you do catch it that thin, your challenge is to... Oh, he's doing a slight swerve. Yeah, it's to get separation of the balls. And he's been quite fortunate there. 5 blocks the pocket. So I can't see Oscar attacking here. I think it's going to be some type of safety. Hiding the cue ball behind the 6 and 3. Yeah, very nice. Nice bit of check side there to kill the cue ball off the long rail. And not sure is there enough of the long rail available past the 9. James to play a single rail hit. He seems to be looking up table. So, easy going 2 rails. Yeah. Bit of left hand spin required. Short rail, long rail on the left, and then down towards the object ball. Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate. Just good attempt. But with ball in hand, how does Oscar solve this little conundrum? 2 to the 3 is the tricky bit. Although it is available. Up table in the corner. And if you got straight-ish on it, you could roll forward and be travelling up towards the 4. But with this angle, you may just try and get the cue ball past the 6. Take the 3 in the same pocket, he's taking the 2 in. Is he trying to get the cue ball along that line? Maybe use the 6 as a stopper. That's exactly what he did. Nicely played. So just needs a little extension on his cue for this one. A bit of a stretch. Just pop that in nicely. Gets a little bounce back into the centre of the table. Still a bit of a tricky shot, this one. Got to be very accurate on this table. Centre of the pocket found. Looks to be almost dead straight. If he had a tiny angle, you can roll forward and use the short rail to get up table towards the 6. Otherwise, it's just a bit more of a distant stroke. But yeah, he's able to do that. Looks a bit flat. Checking the angle he wants on the 7. Yeah, he wants to be just above the pocket line so he can use that left hand long rail. Get shape on the 8. This is almost dead straight. So can't really get the cue ball out too far into the centre of the table. So he will be playing the next shot from close to the cushion. I think he's just waiting for the player on the next table to get out of his way. Plays the power draw shot. That's one way of getting out into the table. Although he's, as you can see, he's almost exactly dead straight. Slightly off angle, but the draw shot, he can still keep enough distance away from the 8, I think, in pulling back here to get to the desired spot. About 2 feet back. Maybe a bit more would have been ideal, but we don't fancy him to miss this cut. Just gotta play a bit steady, not too pacey, and tiny bit of check side to avoid that side pocket. Needs a bounce. Yeah, looks good. So there's the level of the match. There we go. Please subscribe, folks, if you haven't already. We do appreciate it. James breaking the balls, regular. Oh dear, that's a scratch break. And he's got the ball splurred nicely. So the tricky thing once again is 1 to 2. 2 to 3 not so much, and 3 to the 4 they're kind of connected, although the 4 is in one of the safest spots on the table, just next to the side pocket. So 4 to the 5 is also a bit tricky. Drawing directly into position. So where does he want to be on the 3? Just choosing that now. 3 in the top left, or forward a little, 4 in the bottom left. Wow, he's come back a little further than I would have thought ideal, so you might want to take this in the side. Got to avoid the 9. Oh, he's playing with the bottom right on this. Very delicate. So this is the challenging one. You don't have to get too far up the table. Seeing exactly where he wants to be. Kind of kill the cue ball, really. Just draw back a little. Bit of right hand spin. I'll throw that 4 in. Wow, he's played that with a nice positive stroke. Really beautiful strike. He's come a little fraction too straight on this 5. May see him try and manufacture some type of an angle to get the cue ball a bit closer to the 6, because you don't want to be playing it from here. And the 7, of course, won't go in the top left, so he has to have a decent shape on the 6 to be able to get up for that 7. There we go. Watch this one, folks. A marvellous shot there. Really exploited his cue power. Bit of downward striking and spin to get the cue ball as far down table as he's got it. Just indicating for us where he wants the cue ball. So how do you get there? Well, you could play with right hand spin, try and find the short rail on the right hand side after potting this, and then throw the cue ball around 3-4 rails to get there. He's going above centre, so he's just got to run forward. 1, 2. He's going far enough. I think he can still cut this. A couple more rolls would have been ideal. But you've got a choice of which spin to use here. You could use check side, right hand side, get the cue ball to go at the centre of the table. Or you go with a bit of left, helps throw the 7 in. Yeah, he's got the 8 in the right hand side pocket here. The 9's waiting. So it will be a 6-5 lead, I think, to Oscar. He'll need 3. James will still need 2. Seems to have come a bit straight on this. And you could just roll forward a few inches and still make the 9 easy enough, but he wasn't happy with that. He wanted to get perfect on the 9. And that's a beautiful stroke to get up there. And James conceding. Again, doesn't require Oscar to take the easy 9. They're just having a bit of a chuckle there about the positional shot he played from the 8. So, Oscar with the break. Leading 6-5. And he couldn't get a lot closer to getting the 1 in there. It hit both the jaws. Is the 2 going to drop? No, it's a dry break. I think the 7 might be blocking that 1 in the bottom left. So how do you get a tactical advantage out of this? Well, you could go for the extreme attacking shot and try and drive the cue ball onto the short rail, sorry, the long rail on the left-hand side, the lower portion of it between the 7-5 and onto the 9, try and get the 9 in. That's fraught with danger. I'd be looking to try and maybe bank the cue ball between the 4-7 and backup table. Yeah, but that kiss on the 5 has left a shot for Oscar. I think he's got sufficient angle here to come round. 2 rails for the 2 ball. And wants to get just past the pocket line, so shape for the 4 is easier off this. That's perfect. And you'd want to be just short of the pocket line again on the 4 in the side, so you could get down table further for the 5. He's gone a bit far though this time, so he's going to have to play down table off the short rail and then come back up and avoid the traffic to get on the 5. Gets past the 8, he's okay. And in fact he's gone below the pocket line here, so shape for the 6 is quite easy. And I would imagine he plays out past the 8 with left hand side here. You just have to make sure you don't come short. Well, he's changed his mind a bit. Same type of shot, just use a bit of below centre striking. And that looks pretty good, darn good. Just got to stay slightly above the pocket line to make shape automatic from the 8 to the 9. Looks a bit straight, shouldn't be a problem. And just draw back off the long rail. little bit of reverse side. And James concedes, so Oscar's on 7, James with a break, rack 13. The one's dropping this time. And the 4, but he's fully hooked, I think, on the 2. Behind the 7. So, probably push out here. But with someone like Oscar following you, where do you put the cue ball? Well, you want to try and leave it so that it's not inviting for your opponent, but you do have a plan. Somehow you can get him in trouble, or maybe even go for an attacking shot yourself. But with Oscar following you, that would be difficult. A lot of players, certainly in the upper echelons of the game, push out to a jump position. And I think he's potentially considering that. Cue ball to the rail just near his chalk. Yeah, so he's got a bit close to these, so there is a jump shot to make the 2. A little bit of backspin on the cue ball would leave you nicely on the 3. Got a good jump, but didn't get the line. And this is an opportunity. It's by no means easy, but if you can get a good strike on it and stop the cue ball dead, you'd be off to the races. Oh, he was close there. Just caught the rail, the knuckle on the left. And so this is a great opportunity now for Oscar to get himself on the hill. Slightly off angle, so the draw's bringing him quite close to the 3. Wants to get quite deep into the cue ball if he's going to avoid that. He's going above centre, so using the short rail. And a nice line, just a little bit too much speed. So I think the option in the corner is better than the cut in the side. Very nice. I think it's looking ominous here now. Yeah, just very delicate little strokes. If this 7 drops and he gets nice shape on the 9, I think you could see James conceding once again. And he's playing around the angles. Well, he's not ideal on this, so I think James is going to make him pot it. And there we go. So once again, folks, if you aren't already, please subscribe. We really appreciate it. It's 8-5 now. Oscar leads. Just needing this 1 rack to progress to the next round. And he's having no joy at all with this cut break on this table. Nearly got a golden. The 9 was very close to the side. And thinking this may be potable past the 8. And the cue ball would be going towards the 2, but I don't think it passes the 6 into the top left. nor does it go past the 9 to the top right, so you may try a breakout. That's what he did. But he sold out the 1, but I don't think the 2 passes. Oh, sorry, it's possible to get the cue ball to the potting position on the 2, especially if he ends up rolling forward, which I think he's going to have to do if he pots the 1. He will make contact with the 7. So here we go, raising that cue right up high to try and draw back. Makes the pot very difficult, of course. He's obviously trying to work something out here. We see some sort of safety, perhaps. Wow, I did not see that coming. He's found a tremendous shot to cut the 1 in the top right. Sorry, the top left. And then we're going to see now if he can he cut this in, or is he trying to just play a delicate little safe? Maybe hide the 1 behind, hide the cue ball behind the 6. Yeah, that's what he's done. I think the cue ball's maybe popped out half a ball, so he could maybe do a little soft swerve. Just try and catch the edge of that 2. If he catches it thin enough, he should get separation. Or is he playing to kick at this? He seemed to be looking at the 2-rail kick. Well, he's going for the short stick, I think. So the way the balls are laying, I think he's going to jump over the side of the 6. No, he's actually jumping to hit the 2-rail kick, or 3-rail kick, I should say. 1, 2. He's hit it off 2, and that's pretty good. I don't know, does that 2 pass the 4 from here? I'm not sure it does. So there's a potential carom you could play to try and thin the 2 and knock the 4 in. Leave yourself the 2 in the bottom right. The combo's not really an option, I don't think. Maybe try and drive the 2 around the table. Oh, he's just putting the 2 in there, but that's popped out. He can cut this in. I feel sure he can, yeah. A bit of right-hand spin, avoid the balls in the middle of the table. And he should finish perfect on the 3. Anywhere but straight, though. Don't get straight. That looks to be dead straight. So, have to play a bit of a power shot here with draw and right-hand side. Oh, he's got enough angle to follow forward. Did well there. He's going to find the gap. He's not the 9 in. Oh, there you go. So James gets a rack on the board. Now he's on the hill. So this is a hill game now, folks. All to play for. James with a break. It'd be a good time to get a golden. Even to just get the 1 and have shape on the 2. Be happy with that. Where's the 9? Well, it was almost there. And he's not left anything. So, bit of excitement. Oscar's out would have been in his mouth there for a second. Well, it looks like he'll be playing safe here. Hiding the cue ball. Behind the 7 quite nicely. It's a big target to kick at, but once again, hitting it's not the problem. It's getting it safe. All in all pockets. Oh dear, that is a disaster. A perfect starter for Oscar Dominguez. And he's been playing really well lately. I imagine this will be when he finds a gear to make a nice table run. He's got the shape here to play directly to the short rail, bit of a right hand spin, kill the cue ball a bit, check it up for the 3. Looking good. Where does he want to play on the 4? He's thinking about that now. Could play for that top right corner. You've got to be kind of accurate. Want to get just above the pocket line so he could draw back for the 5. And played a precision shot there. He's got the angle he wanted. And he doesn't have to get awfully close to the 5 ball. He could just play that gap between the 6-9. So anything just like a stop or come back a couple of inches just to avoid having to cue over the 7. He's going above centre, so he's running forward. 1, 2. How's his speed? That's looking good now. That little graze off the 8's done him a favour. Got a slight angle. Can play for the 6 into the side pocket past the 9. He's played for the opposite side. That was easier. More of a natural. And looks like he's just going to kill the cue ball. And then with this, to use the rails, you just draw it straight back a foot or so. I think he's using the rails. 2 of them. Yeah, that right hand side really opens up the angle. And means that it's guaranteed to be on the right side of the 8. And the shape is automatic, so James offers his hand and says thank you very much. Oscar progresses with a 9-6 victory. Thanks very much for watching, folks. Please check out the channel for more from this tournament. We do appreciate you watching.